Coach, your group's coming off two very impressive wins. As you look back at the kind of momentum created by that stretch, what do you like about what your team's doing well?
You know, just talking to the guys this morning, it's really been that we're sticking to the process of what we want to do in each game. You know, it's obviously not going to be perfect in those games, but you have two different opponents, two different styles of plays, but we're able to do the things that we know are leading to our success in a lot of ways.
What opportunity is this week? You know, obviously you take one game at a time, but three at home this week after being on the road through Thanksgiving.
No, I think it's great that we're home in front of our fans. You know, we talk about the energy that they provide, the support that they give us. I think it's just going to be so good for this group to be back home, develop a routine, the game every other day. I think that helps out a ton.
The last two games specifically were strong on the defensive end as much as anything else. You guys know you're a good defensive team, but how have you seen the kind of mentality you want and the physicality that you want grow over the last 10, 12 games or so?
Well, you just said it. You know, our ability to be physical. Now, we still got to continue to do a better job of defending without fouling. But our guys are recognizing the spots on the floor, understanding personnel, where to be, following the game plan. And I think the more we can do that, the better we'll continue to be.
We're nearing like the quarter mark of the season. I don't know how you divide the season up to kind of see where you're at, but how have you liked how this team has grown and kind of stuck to that process over the course of these 20 games?
Well, and we'll use the word a lot, you know, that process of what we're trying to accomplish both offensively and defensively. We break it down into a 5-game series each time, and this being the first game of the next 5. But our guys' ability to just understand what we're asking them to do, both sides of the ball. Can we take care of it? Can we crash the glass? Can we get out in the open court and run after we've gotten our stops? Can we be efficient in converting on the other end? I think those are very important keys for our guys. So we've continued to grow in that area, but there's still a lot of room to go from there.
Paolo's out again tonight. How is he doing? What was he able to do this morning?
You know, Paulo's still doing a lot of doing non-contact things, and we just continue to see and monitor how he responds to each treatment each day.
How close is he to be able to doing contact? Like, is that something that could happen this week potentially?
Again, it goes off how he responds to what he's been doing for the past couple days. You know, obviously travel has been a part of things, so it's hard to get a gauge on it. But us being back home this week is so important, you know, just for that, to be able to be in this gym, this facility, to get the proper, you know, recovery things that he needs and we need.
How are his spirits? Just, I know it's different than last year, but kind of maybe he could feel, here we go again.
Yeah, I don't know if it's necessarily here we go again, but it's more along the lines of just continuing to know that there's a process that he's following to get himself back on the court. And his spirits have been great. Him being on the bench, communicating with guys, talking to the coaches about what he sees. The game slows down just that much more for him as well, as he's watching it as a coach for these moments. But again, just continue to put the work in to get back on the court.
The Chicago team tonight, where does it start? What's so important for your group against them?
Transition defense. I believe they're number 2 in pace in the league. So our ability to, one, take the right shot so we can make sure we're getting back and, you know, controlling the way that we can get them into the half court. But we got to make sure we're, you know, crashing the glass the right way, defending without fouling. Kobe White, you know, has been in some games, out some games, but him being back, we know what he did to us last time he was here. But our ability to get back in transition and make them have to play a half-court game is going to be key for us.
Maybe a little bit more about the pace than maybe you would like or you'd think. But how do you feel like the team's kind of found its rhythm or its tempo, or however you want to describe it, to playing and finding the right kind of balance?
Well, great word, balance. I think what we've talked about from training camp and on has been, how do we do that by getting stops? How do we run with efficiency? How do we convert on the other end after getting the stops? And I think we've done a very good job of finding that balance, not to get out and just play back and forth rat basketball, but our ability to get stops and then be efficient on the other end by converting.
Thank you all. Appreciate it. Happy belated.
Happy belated.